Oh, for fuck's sake.
Living on a sailing boat is a constant dance of triumph and setback, progress and backsliding. One day you're gliding across calm, glistening waters, reveling in the freedom of the open sea.
Ew.
The next, you're battling this.
I was tightening on here, and as I was tightening, both welds either side failed, and it went bung, bung. And this whole bit now is now bent inwards, so...
When you were promised this.
I kid you not, these are the strongest bars I think I've ever seen.
But that's the thrill of it all, isn't it? Learning to coexist with the good bits and the not so. Subscribe for it all and enjoy.
I'll give you a quick recap of what we are up to here in southern Mexico. We recently installed a solar arch on our sailing boat Tay-Lee as a way to expand our solar array. And whilst it was all going smoothly, when we lifted up the new panel, the bars we bought from the solar company started to bend, which wasn't okay. So we rethought the design and called in the experts to make much sturdier welded aluminium bars. This week, we are following on from that and continuing to make everything stronger so we don't get any surprising bending or flexing out at sea.
What I'm doing at the moment is adding some right angle brackets to the panel because we're a bit unsure about how well these corners are attached to each other. So what we're doing is we're adding these kind of right angle brackets here with a bolt going through each one and then tightening them down, which means whatever is holding in here, which doesn't look fantastic, should not move at all, because if that gives, and yeah, if that gives, the whole panel could pop out of where it is. So we just want to put 4 of these around each panel just to make sure that it's going to be a bit more bomb proof and never really come out.
Exciting news. After about a week of kind of going backwards and forwards with the welder, we have the new bars. They just dropped them off. I kid you not, these are the strongest bars I think I've ever seen. So they're 2 L brackets like that, spot welded, and they have welds on the end. They're pretty industrial, but whatever, they are so strong. So I'm so excited to lift them up and actually get this solar project done. They're about 1 inch high, which is double the thickness of the centre ones, but because where we brought the arch in, we've dropped the corners, so essentially it will do a really good job at hopefully lifting the outer bit of the panel up. Are you stoked?
Yeah. Have you seen how strong these new things are?
They look beefy.
Yeah, I can rest that. Got it? Okay, so up like that.
Oh, but you're going to have to shim it your end too. Stuff on your end. Okay, nice. Okay, don't scratch the panel.
Got it.
Good.
I think if we get it flat like this to begin with, then we can flip it in a sec eventually. Up and slide and
down.
lower.
At this point, we still weren't happy, as whilst the bar wasn't bending, the weak spot has shifted to the outside of the panel. So we were going to have to figure out a way to stop this. And it was a team effort. We decided to get an extra angled support added, which would ensure the outer section of the panel is as secure as the centre. Also, we realised that the inch was slightly too high, so we'd also get them to modify the bars to accommodate this.
Okay, give me an update now.
They've just brought back the bar here with the new kind of external reinforcement bit here, which is going to be holding this up, and hopefully once that's all bolted down and everything like that, it should be pretty solid now. So it's taken a while, but I think we're just about there now. Beautiful. Okay.
It went all the way through?
Yeah, I just need the other bigger one now. Okay, can I have the socket and doodad, please?
Yep.
My will to do projects here is fading, but we won't give up hope. Did you camera see what happened?
No.
So where, I'm going to explain it on this one because I'm not going back up there again. On here, we've got the bolts going through the clamps that we've got here, and I was tightening on here, and as I was tightening, both welds either side failed, and it went bung, bung. And this whole bit now is now bent inwards, so we're probably gonna have to take this whole thing back down again and give it back to them, get them to weld these areas the full lengths this time, and yeah, and then go from there. But there's cracks in the welds. That's got a crack in it. That's not even welded.
A bit shitty.
Yeah, there's actually cracks in a few of these welds.
Are they coming today?
Yeah, I messaged him at 8 and he literally said I'll be there. I can stand, so you can stand there for sure. Good morning. We just went up the ladder and took the new support out, and we've put it on the dock, and they're going to come collect it in about, hopefully, an hour or so. I mean, yeah, we'll see when that happens. Anyway, they're going to come collect it and hopefully weld it better. A lot of the spot welds have hairline cracks in them. We think they haven't taken the metal back enough to create a good bond, a good weld. So hopefully they take it and do a better job.
Very cool.
See you down there.
Good luck.
And a nice t-shirt. You guys are matching. Very cool. Nice.
It's nice to meet you.
Honestly, all the best for
Of course.
South.
Yes. Yeah, of course, for sure. No, we'll be home like the second that you guys get there, so it'll be good.
Hope you see you then.
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Bye, legends.
Bye.
We'll see you in Canada.
Yeah, see you on the other side.
They are our new friends that we've just met on Sailing Sitka. They actually have a YouTube channel, so we've left the link down below, but check them out. They are legends, and yeah, they've come from Canada, so we are so excited to get all the tips and tricks and recommendations from them. It just makes us so excited for the rest of the journey. But yeah, definitely sad to say goodbye. It's one of the hardest bits of cruising, but you know, it's not goodbye, it's till next time.
Happy or not?
Yeah, they look better. They've actually ground out like sections and done it.
Oh, okay, they've done spot weld still.
Well, no, they're deep this time.
Okay, that's good.
They're not just spot welds. You can see where they've ground them out.
Okay.
Like, make a channel and then filled it with weld.
Okay, cool. They look stronger?
Yeah. Yeah, they've done like all of them actually.
That's good.
We've got the bars back now, so 8th time lucky. No, but seriously, they look a lot better this time. I think they understood the assignment. So we're gonna borrow next door and hopefully get this one swapped out with the one that's currently up there, and hopefully it will be better. And then we can get bolting, fingers crossed. I can't say for sure because you never know what will happen. Boats, seriously. But hopefully we'll get this bolted.
Each evening when Zach and I are about to go to sleep, we chat about the day. A debrief, one may call it. And the evening that bar broke, after spending the week waiting for it to come back, Zach asked me what I thought about it, to which I nonchalantly replied, well, it's not too ideal, is it? And we both started giggling. Sometimes it really is ideal, and sometimes it isn't, and there has to be humour in it, because if we didn't laugh, we might just go a bit crazy.
We just secured this panel down. The next thing we're going to do now is lash this bar down but not have it on bolted on or anything like that, because it's probably going to have to slide back and forth a little bit. Once this is up, we're going to actually lift the next panel up, which is a big job.
It's progress, and even the bird's excited for us. Nice one. Ooh, it's getting real.
We stick our face in there. Are you going to use that footage?
She'll be the thumbnail.
Kind of.
That you would die sooner than you
Okay.
Okay. Funnel is there.
Shall I cleat this off?
Yeah, cleat them all off and just leave it like that. Let me just get 2 bolts in, and then I think we'll be good. Is that better?
It's a little.
You alright?
And okay.
Your shoe's just there.
I did not think that was about to happen.
I did not think about this as well. I was looking up.
I'm so glad you did everything.
just about see Antarctica from
2 things. Firstly, secondly,
It is bleeding through a little bit actually.
what the heck, Zach? What did you do?
When we were doing the end brackets here, I didn't have very good grip where I was because I was standing most of the way up on this, and so I was holding onto the panel and didn't realise my thumb was underneath where it was drilling, and after it went all the way through, basically skidded along my nail and then like into my cuticle and like a little bit into my thumb, which is really stupid. I've never done that with a drill before to myself, but it was quite deep, but it should be alright. I'm going to clean it again in a minute, but...
What are the chances? In 2 years we haven't done any cuts, well, apart from that cut, but just been so unlucky.
It'll be alright.
But, second thing, wow, there's some cool lightning. Look at that. Pretty cool, eh?
But yeah, it's been a long day, but honestly, just to make some proper progress is, undescribable. It does feel really good. We probably look really tired. This has been a really long, hard project.
This has been hard. The arch and the panels have been the hardest thing we've done on the boat.
By a long shot, and it's just it's been testing our patience and our motivation skills, but it's getting there now. And honestly, yeah, the mosquitoes are starting to come out. We've still got to bolt them properly tomorrow, but for now, I think we can go to bed knowing that we've just done a cool thing. That's Zach's blood from earlier.
Okay, don't touch the red bit. Nice one.
Here we go. What are we doing now, Becca?
We're finally wiring them up. Just collecting the wires together, which feels actually insane. Doesn't actually quite feel real, but it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in the same one as that, if that makes sense. My brain figures that out.
So that's positive, this is negative then.
Sure?
Yeah, it's a big positive there.
Okay, so the one
So
you've got is
negative.
negative.
So where does this go into then? Obviously it's got to go into that feeder up there.
No?
No, not this one.
That one.
Yeah. Ready?
Ready?
Yeah, it's in.
Beautiful.
Crazy, now we need to deal with that.
Just like that. It's done.
Okay, this has been months in the making. No exaggeration there. Zach, wasn't it months?
It's been a long ass time.
But now we're going to turn it on, and it's 4 p.m, so the sun's not going to be high in the sky, but we'll do a follow-up in a few days when, it's midday. But for now, I'm going to flick this breaker on, and hopefully we have power. You ready?
Yeah.
Wait.
Anything?
No.
Is the charger enabled?
It's flashing lots of colours. Oh, it's because I'm on it. Okay, it's got 44 voltage. That's good. Battery, enable charger. Oh, there you go. 290, 309, 318, 322, 323,
That's good for this time of day.
360.
How many amps?
Oh, Does that say 700? Oh no, 200. I thought it said 700. 10 amps, but I mean the sun's pretty low in the sky right now.
Yeah, it's only 4 p.m, isn't it? Well, it's still really good for this time of day.
338. The other one's on 155, and this is on 384.
Yeah, it's about right then.
And the other one should be on 450, and this one should be on 600.
They've probably got shading from the boom, main and stuff like that as well, but that's good. We'll see tomorrow how much they get up to.
It's done.
That was a really big month. It was about a month ago today that we took off the solar panel from our davits that we set up in Plymouth.
Rather than the end of an era, it was actually incredibly exciting to think where these new lot of solar panels would take us. And with our old panel being donated to our friends on Papillon, we had no doubt it would also go on some crazy adventures this upcoming year. Anyway, with that all done, it was time to add the cherry on top. See what I did there with the vane cover installation.
Oh, it's so shiny and new. Ooh la la. We've got to get the teams loose it over. Nice. So it's really funny because we woke up at like 5:30 this morning and the sun had just risen, and the first thing both of us did was go on the Victron app and see how many watts we were pulling in. And honestly, we were pulling in 45 watts on this back panel and 4 on the front. 45 and 4. We were pulling in 14 amps off these two solar panels at 5:30, about 20 minutes after the sun had risen, and then 4 off this. So I think it was 1 amp off the front. So already I'm so excited for what this solar array can do. And can you just imagine on passage looking back and just seeing this, just the Hydrovane solar arch, the Hydrovane just going bloop 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 bloop, doing its thing. Bloop, 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 bloop. So excited. So excited. We installed our solar and plugged it all in about 2 days ago, and we've been running off it, and this is what we've reported.
Yeah, so we've had way more power than we've needed since turning it on, which has been really nice. Our batteries have been charged by kind of midday, and we've been trying to push it a little bit with leaving the inverter on, the Starlink on overnight, and other things like that, just to see what it would get down to. But it's got ample power. I think at the moment, with how hot it gets here and how little wind it gets here, the panels aren't as efficient as they should be at the moment, because they do get just so hot to touch.
Yeah, the most efficient, correct me if I'm wrong, but the most efficient temperature for a solar panel is 22 degrees. And I mean, during the day, these must get, what, 60?
Oh, at least. You can't touch them, they get so hot, so.
So we're excited to see what the future has in store, and you know, how we can keep our batteries topped up in cloudier places with more rain, like Alaska next year.
Yeah, the shading on these back ones is obviously a lot better than anything we've had before, because they're kind of up and out of the way, and so there's nothing really, especially when the sun's rising over there and hitting them straight away, there's nothing really shading them during the day, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, so we're really delighted. We thought we'd just kind of come here and go over a few specs in case you're wondering about what we've got on our boat or what you could potentially add to yours. Our initial standalone panel on the pilot house roof is 455 watts, and I will say sometimes we get over 500 watts in perfect conditions. I know back in Costa Rica, in like just the right, once it's rained and then the sun comes out, we can get like 550, but that was that panel. And then the two ones we've just added are 605 watts standalone, and then with the bifacial they're 720 each, so it brings us up to about 1,900 watts with all three. I know we were getting about 60 amps charging through those panels when the batteries were 90% full, but when the batteries go lower, it will kind of really kickstart the charging, and we should get up to 100 amps, which was just crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a crazy day we see that on the charge controller.
Our new panels are also wired in parallel, so if we do get any counter shading on them from any of the masts or whatever, or any buildings around us or trees or things like that, we don't lose all of the power from the panels. So if one is shaded, the other one would still work. We were thinking about doing them in series to lower the wire size, could be less amps going through there and higher voltage, but we talked to a few people and they suggest that we still do them how we did these two. So they're running in parallel, and then they're going down to their own MPPT, and this panel here is going down to its own MPPT as well.
Which is really good redundancy. We already had 2 MPPTs because we wanted the redundancy, you know, if one broke we could just instantly switch it over. So yeah, we're really happy with that setup. We also added, as you saw last week, some PV breakers, and we wanted to add these back in the UK and we didn't, and now we've added 2, and they're basically glorified fuses. They're circuit breakers, meaning if we ever need to work on the MPPT we can turn the panels off, which before we couldn't do. So we had to cover the solar panels with blankets before to ensure we didn't get zapped. And we also, you saw us add another fuse in line between the MPPT and the batteries. We're quite proud now of our fuse wall, where we have fuses for absolutely every single device between our batteries and the device. So yeah, we're feeling happy that we've got, I mean 6 more fuses, 8 more fuses since we left the UK. That is something we're very happy about. So that is basically the rundown of our solar. We are absolutely delighted. I mean, we never intended to go quite so big, but if you kind of saw all the calculations and the costs, it just made perfect sense for us to go that big.
Yeah, it was going to cost about twice as much to get an identical panel to what we had down here as it would be of getting these 2 panels. So it was kind of a bit of a no-brainer of going a little bit bigger than we wanted to go and just having that extra power and saving a bit of money with it. So
yeah, and I will say the shading in the cockpit is glorious. Like, I don't know how we ever went without it now on passages. So that's all the solar spoken about, and now we're going to move on to kind of chat about the whole system. As you all know, a year ago actually we installed our Battleborn Lithium batteries back in Aruba, and we've been running fully off them for a year, so we thought it'd be a great time to chat about the system and how we've been liking the Battleborn. So let's head down to the battery cupboard and chat about what's down there. If you are new and you haven't seen this, this is our redesigned wet locker, now our battery locker, our domestic battery locker, and we have 8 100 amp hour Battleborn lithium iron phosphates in here. So these are epic batteries, to say the least. They're really hands off, so they have built-in BMSs, so if they get too hot, too cold, the voltage goes too high, the voltage goes too low, or they have any reason to suspect there's an issue, they just cut out. And
what is a BMS, Becca?
A battery management system. So these are smart batteries, so they are just smart. They know when there's an issue and they cut out to prevent any further damage or any issues with the rest of the system. So we're very grateful for that. Anyway, we've got 8 in here, 100 amp hours each, and obviously with lithiums you can use all of them as opposed to our previous AGMs, which you could only use half. And they're linked in series in here, and then we have 2 buzz bars which all of our other appliances which are in the engine room are linked off of. And you'll also notice there's a fuse in here, we have a switch to turn the whole system off, and we also have this little temperature gauge with a probe at the back of the cupboard at the top, and this is wired to a fan. We've never really had the fan come on. We are obviously in the tropics and in very hot places, but this cupboard we never really see above 30, 32 on this cupboard. We have a vent at the bottom, and I think it's set at maybe 38 degrees, but if it hits that, the fan turns on. But yeah, like I said, that never really happens, but it's nice having it there in case. I will just say, since last year, there has been this addition, which is yet to be fully plugged in, but we'll leave that a bit of a mystery for now. If you have any suspicions of what that is, leave them below. It'll be fun to see what you think that is.
So we are now in our lovely engine room, and as we come in on the left here, we've got our 2 PV breakers for the panels. These are our forwards ones and our aft ones, and they're super easy to use. If we ever want to turn off the panels, we can just pull that down and flick the fuse and it will turn them off, which is nice. And then in our slightly crowded engine room, there's got our anti-fan on here at the moment, which we haven't got around to using yet. We've got a load of blue in here, which a lot of people recognise is Victron gear.
We've got our 3000 watt inverter charger here, which has been fantastic. This thing runs all of our 220 volt appliances on board, from our water maker to our computers, laptop, everything like that is run off this big bad boy here. Down here we've got our 2 MPPT charge controllers for our solar. This is forward and aft. They're both 150, 100 charge controllers, which is pretty beefy for them. We've also got our DC to DC here, which basically allows us to charge our domestic batteries with our alternator, which is a fantastic bit of kit as well.
Because you can't charge lithiums through an alternator without that.
Yes, that is correct. And then we've got our 4 different Blue Sea fuse bars here, which range from, I think we've got 120, 60 amp, there's a few different ones on here, but yeah, those are super solid fuse bars as well. And then these are engine batteries here.
Cool, and then we've got our engine battery charger there as well.
Since installing these batteries in Aruba, we haven't really noticed any decrease in capacity of the overall system. Having these still at 100% capacity has been fantastic.
The only one thing we did have back in Panama, which I don't think we filmed because it was we were in the process of transiting the canal, but what we were finding was our system was saying 100%, but the voltage wasn't matching it. So we weren't having the same capacity. It just didn't make sense, and it was getting a bit worse by the day. And we spoke to Battleborn, we hopped on a call with them, and it was literally the fact that we never balanced them in the beginning. So when they're shipped to you, they're obviously at slightly different voltages, and the system can't uniformly bring it up together, the charge. So if one is charged, it will tell because of how we've had them wired, it will tell the whole system that they're charged. So what we did was, we actually did 2 things because we had it incorrectly wired on our behalf. We wired the positive and negative to the first battery. So the last battery was just getting so much less charged than the first, but the first was full and telling the whole system that it was 100% charged. So we contacted Battleborn and they drew us out a new diagram. They put us on loads of different calls and gave us loads of information, and that was really nice. And what we did was we just took one battery out at a time, we charged it up, put it aside, did it to the next one, and over the course of a day or 2 we charged all the batteries up, and literally like that the system was back to normal.
It was 100% our fault for how we wired it initially in Aruba.
We quickly figured out that that was the issue, and I mean, since then it's been amazing. So it's nice to know that they're there if you need someone, because we're amateurs and by no means do we ever claim to know 100% of what we're doing. So it's nice to have someone who does know what they're doing to be able to guide us wherever we are in the world. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for Battleborn. We actually do have an affiliate link for you guys if you're interested in doing the upgrade yourself on your boat or your van or anything you have like that. It's $25 off a battery at the moment. So check out our link, it's on the screen or down below, and enjoy your Battleborns, because honestly it's been game changing for us to have so much more power and just to go further.